Kia ora, welcome to another Ashtanga Yoga tutorial with me. In this tutorial we'll be focusing on the balancing postures from the standing sequence in the primary series. They're quite complex and quite challenging, so it's nice to look at them just in isolation sometimes, and we'll do a bit of preparatory work which will help us to understand the alignment and the strength and flexibility that's really required to get into these poses. It's important that you do some warming up before you get started, so I'll tell you when to pause the video and to spend that time warming the body, preferably with Sun Salutation A and Sun Salutation B. Just to let you know what you'll need ahead of that, have your mat, your yoga mat, next to a wall that you're able to use to stand against, and have also handy a yoga strap if you've got one, or confession time, I don't own a yoga strap. I just use anything, so a tie does the trick perfectly fine. Now's your chance to pause the video and either do my Sun Salutation A and B tutorial, or just go through some rounds if you're comfortable doing them by yourself. Let's come to laying on our backs to begin with. I will remove my socks after doing the supine series, but prefer to keep them on for now. It's cold in Christchurch. Okay, let's lay all the way down. And as you come to laying on your back, just relax your shoulders against the mat. Create a neutral pelvis, so there should be a little bit of space here in between your lower back and the mat. Just pause for a few rounds of breath. And then we'll start with the right hand side. So hugging the knee first, just in towards the chest, and start to draw that knee back and forth, maybe around in some circles, just massaging into that hip joint so that we can really stimulate that synovial fluid and help us to have the mobility in the hip that we need when we come out to the side in the balancing sequence. If you take that knee in circles, just remember to even it up with some circles in the other direction. And then let's bring our left hand just to rest on our left hip. Right hand just by the side, or you can extend it out, up to you. And then let's extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. Just keep it quite soft for now. Keep some bend in your knee. And notice what happened as you lifted the leg in the postural alignment of the rest of your body. So maybe you've had a little bit of movement in the hips, maybe the left leg has changed a little bit, how it feels on the earth. Maybe your shoulders have tensed. Guilty, mine definitely did just a little bit then, so relax the shoulders back down. And how we're laying now is really going to reflect the same position when we're standing. So let's make that a little bit more obvious. First, we flex and activate through the left foot. So as though that foot is standing on the ground. Create a little bit of extra length in that leg. And then with the right foot, really try and flex that one away from you as well. So lengthen the heel up towards the ceiling, curl the toes down towards you. If you can't hold this, you need to have bend in the knee. That's totally fine, but it's a very good indicator of where you should attempt to go to when you're in the standing posture. Because if you can't lengthen your leg here and maintain a flat back, there's no way you're going to be able to lengthen your leg out in front of you standing and have a flat back. You'll be hunching your spine. There's an option here if you would like, if you're really struggling with length in the leg, to wrap your strap or your necktie, whatever you have, around the base of that foot and to draw some extra length into the leg using the strap. Now, if you do this, it's important that we don't lift the shoulder blades up off of the mat. So hold the strap at a point where you can keep spinal alignment. Another option that you might take if you have the range, socks are going to have to come off, is to wrap your peace fingers around your big toe. And again, this is a really good time to just test how this feels. So put a little softness into your knee, try and get that grasp, and then lengthen the heel away from you. Now, if you can't wrap and connect the peace fingers and keep your shoulder down on the ground and your spine in alignment, you're never going to be able to do this yet standing. So just don't even try. Be kind to yourself. It's great to observe here what should be possible or could be possible for you in the standing expression of this position. And keep breathing here. What we're experiencing is a release, a lengthening through the back of the hamstring. Breath is important. And of course we have the option, if the hamstrings are really tight, to simply draw the leg in towards us with a bent knee. Just keep flexing that foot. So drive the heel up, the toes down. One more breath in here. And then breathe out. And whether or not you've got your strap wrapped around the base of your foot, or whether or not you're just holding gently behind the calf or hamstring, or you've managed that peace finger variation, we're going to open up now, just as we do standing, to the right hand side. Keeping the left palm here on the front of your left hip really helps you to keep that hip in alignment. And that's the exact same thing that we want to do when we're standing. So notice that left hip really wants to lift, and just see how far you can open up through that leg. Again, this is going to be a really great indicator for how far you should go when you're standing, or how far you might attempt to go when you're standing. Another option here is to do as we do when we're standing for a beginner's level, and bend at the knee. In which case, sometimes you can open a little bit deeper and really work into that hip by taking then the right hand to the top of that leg, pressing down through the knee, through the hip, and just gently causing that hip flexor to open a little further. So play around with what feels good. Don't forget to breathe here. Keep drawing your left shoulder back, pressing it down into the earth. The neck is long. We haven't forgotten about that left foot that is flexed as it is supporting us on our imaginary ground underneath it. Now there is the option when we're standing to take the gaze out to the left hand side while the leg goes to the right. So let's practice that. Just roll and look over to the left. And keep breathing here. Feel that hip grow softer, more malleable, more flexible with each out breath. Once more. And then let's draw the leg with control back up to the center line. Make sure that the spine is in alignment. And then from here, take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, peel now your shoulder blades up off of the mat and try and draw your knee in towards your nose. Hold there for a second and then release. Let the head float back down, but keep the leg where it is. And just notice, it's great now to be curious about how much more comfortable the leg feels lifted straight into the air than it did when we first began. Awesome work. One more breath in, maybe a little shake on here. And breathe out. Then on an inhale, let's bend our left leg, plant that foot, bend our right knee and cross our right ankle over the top of that left thigh. Flex again through the right foot. Just gently draw that knee on the right leg away from you. Now this might already be quite intense. You might be a little limited in terms of the movement that you can create in your hips. If not, the next move I'd like you to attempt is to lengthen that left leg and lift it towards the ceiling. So now we have a flexed left foot, a flexed right foot. We're driving that knee away from you. Big breath in here, and then as you breathe out, engage the abdominals and lower that long left leg slowly all the way down. Notice what happens in the hips here. See if you can keep them stable and balanced. And then just being curious about your flexibility. Maybe we can grab the foot on that right leg and bring it higher up towards the left hip crease. Maybe that is such a long way off for you, in which case the option I'd like you to try, if you're struggling with this crossover of the right foot onto the left leg, is to just release and press the sole of the right foot against the upper thigh of that left leg. So we've come into a tree posture and the legs laying on our back. Along with whatever variation of the tree legs you've created, you can create something with the arms that feels good. Maybe you want to press the palms at your heart. Take the arms above the head, out to the sides. A few more breaths here. And let it go. So hugging the right knee now in towards the chest. And we bid it farewell and exchange it for the left leg. So left knee hugs in towards the chest. Oh, just notice how different that right leg feels now after those poses. And we give it a little massage into that hip crease, maybe some circular movements. Just remembering if we go one way, we reverse and go the other. And come to stillness there. Take your right hand just to rest on the top of your right hip crease. Left arm just out to the side. I might need to wriggle over a little bit here. And then we lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot, so it's like you want to stand on the ceiling with that foot. And then flex your right foot, activate that one like you want to stand on the ground with that right foot. Or maybe whatever wall is opposite from where you're laying. Good to notice here differences between your legs as well. So I definitely have a lot more tightness in my left hamstring due to an old injury. And that helps us to, again, be kind and gentle to ourselves when we come into the standing versions, because we've worked it out. We know, oh, it's more challenging for me on my left side than my right. And then choosing if you'd like to have a go at using your strap or whatever you have to assist you here. Keeping the shoulder blades grounded, lengthening through the back of that leg. So there's three things we really need to work on for these postures in the body. Quadricep strength, hamstring length, and our balance. Oh, four, sorry, because also hip mobility. So there's a lot going on. We also have to remember to breathe, so let's do that now. Breathing deeply in, fresh oxygen through the back of that leg, breathing out, releasing tension. Maybe you want to play around and see where you're at with the peace fingers variation on this side, wrapping around the big toe. Really try and keep your shoulders even here, and it's preferable that you don't lengthen the leg to keep your shoulders even, and then you'll be able to see, same as when we go to standing, alright, I need to bend my knee at least this much in order to maintain good posture, spinal alignment. Keep lengthening the back of that leg. Oh, I've got a decent shake on today. And if it does start to shake, just be kind, bend your knee a little bit more. Wait for your body to arrive along with your mental intention. Or maybe it won't. That's okay too. Alright, we're going to take this one out to the side now. Remember, you also have the option to just bent leg, super bent, and draw it open, pressing the right palm into the top of the left hip now. It wants to open. Now you have an option as well if you can't open all the way and it's just so awkward just having this leg hanging and you want to rest a bit more. Grab yourself a block or a cushion and just place it underneath the leg. And let that hip flexor just relax and open. Don't forget about the base of that right foot standing on the ground. Shoulders are relaxed. Neutral pelvis. Neck is long. Think of all of these positions in the body and lock them into your memory so you can return to it when we are standing, when we do not have the support of the ground behind our back. Keep breathing here. And then we need to draw it back up to center. We want to do this smoothly. Up we go. Whatever expression you had with that left leg. Now, even if you did have it bent, I want you to try for this next step to lengthen it as much as you can. And then on inhale, breath to prepare, and on your exhale, peel the shoulder blades up off of the mat, curl your knee in towards your nose. Hold here for a moment, and then release. Take the upper body down and try and hold that leg exactly where it is, and breathe there. Just notice how it feels, if it's a bit longer than how it felt when we first began on this side. And one more breath in, breath out. And then let's bend our right leg. Bend our left leg and take the left ankle to cross over top of the right thigh. Draw the knee away from you on that left leg. Again, you can completely just stay here while those of us who can explore the mobility in the hip by lengthening that right leg up to the ceiling. Flex that foot like you want to stand on the ceiling. And then let's use our core control. Inhale, breath to prepare, and then exhale with the abdominals tight. Just lower that leg slowly down to the mat. And you can rest here, or maybe you want to see how far you can take it. So you're grabbing the left foot and curling it up closer towards your right hip crease. This is a really challenging position to arrive in, so do not feel at all discouraged if it's not accessible for you. you can come into any variation of tree pose legs with this left leg. So it might be pressing the sole of the foot against the inner thigh, or it might even be pressing the sole of the foot against the inner lower leg on the right leg, so against your calf. Find what feels good, and then choose your expression of your tree arms. And breathe, let that hip soften and release. And we will come from here up to standing. We want to make that a beautiful journey of conscious transition. So releasing now that expression of tree pose to hug the knee into the chest one last time. And then send it out long, and let's just pause to see how we feel through the legs before hugging both knees into the chest and just starting a little rock and roll action here. So this is great for bringing a little bit of warmth back into the body after laying down for a while, and until we come up to a seat. Now let's come up through a squat pose. So start to bring the feet in towards the bottom, and then come into your yogi squat. Now you might need to lift your heels to achieve this position. See what you have to do, and let's work on a little mobility here. So just shuffling side to side, finding what feels good. Maybe you want to use your elbows against your inner thighs, and to do a few shoulder stretches and chest openings as well. Just encouraging some organic movement here in your squat. And then this is our quadricep strength that we talked about. Let's press our palms together at our heart, push through the heels and drive up from squat. We'll go up and down a few times. So inhale, breath to prepare, and then exhale, down we go. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, push back up. Inhale at the top, exhale, down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, push up. A few more just in your own time. Oh, hello, creaky knees. And keeping that core engaged, the glutes active and working here. And last one. Take your hands to your side, your feet in towards one another, and to lengthen the back of our hamstrings and to bring a bit more warmth into the body. A few rounds of half sun salutation. So inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold all the way forward. Belly comes into contact with the top of the thighs. Inhale, find halfway lift, so the legs lengthen, chest pushes through. Take the gaze slightly forward. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, rise to standing, lift the arms, lift the gaze. 2 more rounds like that. Exhale, forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up to standing, press the palms. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, push the palms. Exhale, draw them to the heart. All right, we're standing against a wall for a couple of reasons. It helps us to find that alignment again through the spine. So let's start by pushing ourselves up against the wall. Get your heels right in there. And we will first just practice taking the body weight onto one foot. So we'll start with the right leg. Just send the body weight completely into the left leg. So come right onto the tippy toe of that right leg. See if you can keep pressing your shoulders against the wall and just see how this feels. It's not as easy as it looks. Now let's see if we can just lift and hover that leg up off of the ground. Hold it there. Keep some softness through the front of that left kneecap. Notice what happens through the spine. Notice what happens through the back of the neck. Really use this wall, the support of the wall, to feel what that posture in the back of the body is like, and how hard it is to maintain that with a lifted leg. One more breath in, and then exhale, bring it down. And let's practice on the other side. Again, it's great to notice here the differences that we have in the body. So let's press into the right foot, come onto the tippy toe of the left. Use the wall. You can grip onto the wall for dear life if you like. Press your palms into it. And then hover. Start to lift with the knee bent to that left leg. And breathe. Ground down through the supporting foot, the right foot. Softness in that right kneecap. Length through your spine. Maybe you can grow a little taller on the wall. One more breath in and exhale. Let's go down. All right, next one, our hip opener. So let's send the body weight now into that left foot again. And this time I want you to turn your leg out as much as you can. So we're thinking about nearly placing that knee on the wall. Find that balance through the spine, the strength in the leg, and let's lift up through that right leg. So you can catch it behind or in front of the thigh. How hard is this? It's very hard. Keep that length through the spine, great posture. Feel your shoulder blades, squeeze them in together at the back, be broad across your collarbones, and hold out to the side. For 3, 2, 1. Draw it back to the front. Ooh, feel those hips come into alignment and drop it down. Okay, other side. I know, it's not easy, right? Okay. Send the body weight into that right foot. Get ready for it. You'll never see such a serious face of concentration as when people are working on balance, eh? Start to lift that leg and you can catch behind. Oh, I didn't do the big turn out to the side first. Turn out at the bottom and then lift. And just maintain as much length, as much steadiness through the back of the spine as you can, using your wall for support. Notice what happens. I really get tipsy on this side. See what adjustments you have to make in the body. Oh, that's much better. So you'll be able to have a wee wiggle around, a play. And remember, every little adjustment that you make here is one I want you to bear in mind when we come to the unsupported version. One more breath in, breath out. Swing it around to center and then lower it down. All right, awesome work. Little wiggle out. Okay, we're ready to give it a go, I think. So coming now, still by the wall if you want. I highly recommend having it there just for the knowledge, the safety that it's there when you come into your balancing poses. And having your strap handy as well. I'll show you the 3 ways, same as we did on our back, that you can come into this pose. Let's start with the knee version, and I'll just have the strap handy to show the others. So let's send the body weight into that foot. Just come up onto the tippy toe of the right foot, and remember what it felt like against the wall. Remember what it felt like against the ground as you make this transition. So option number 1, catching under the leg and just holding in front. And if you feel you can, remember flexing the foot and remembering when you were laying on the ground how much of a bend you approximately needed in your knee to keep that flat back position. And then maybe if you're feeling confident, taking your peace fingers through the inner thigh, and you don't need to extend the leg all the way out here. You can just practice catching it. Extend it a little bit. Have a little bit of a bend. Or maybe you want to practice knowing how it feels to be straight through the leg and straight through the spine, but you can't do that with your peace fingers yet, and that's where it's helpful to practice with the strap. Then you can see what it feels like to keep a straight spine, a straight leg, and to hold that position. So work out which one you'd like to practice, and you can always practice one at a time. Do what I've just done, have a play around. Then when you find the one that you're going to hold there for 5 deep Ujjayi breaths. After those 5 breaths, we start our journey out to the side. So if you're here, opening up through the hip, maintaining spinal alignment. Remember what it felt like on the wall. Remember what it felt like on the ground. Remember how far your leg could go on the ground. There's no way you're going to push it further without ruining your spinal alignment. So just go to where you were. Lengthen the spine, stay standing tall. And now maybe you want to challenge your balance with that look over to the left. And 5 deep Ujjayi breaths. After the 5, draw back around to center. Maintain the balance. Now here we go. Draw the knee to the nose. And then release. Hold it. 5 Ujjayi breaths. Tall spine. Oh, drop it down. Take a wiggle out. Well done. And let's go over to the other side. Remembering the differences that you already discovered in your sides of the body laying on your back. Okay. Transferring the body weight into the right foot. Picking up onto the tippy toe at first, off the left foot. Spinal alignment. Draw the shoulders back and up, back and down. And then lifting. So maybe we're just going to catch underneath the thigh. I recommend trying to take your hand on the inside if you can, just because that's the way you're coming in if you're going to work on the peace fingers. So it's a good start. Lengthening. Remember, spine never drops. We're never hunching. We're staying beautifully tall. Maybe you really want to work on the length in the hamstring and you want to use your strap to do that. I'm going to do that on this side because my left leg struggles a bit more and I'd like to work on the flexibility through that hamstring. So keeping my spine straight, I'm going to use the strap here as an extension of my arm. Pushing the foot away from me, bringing the toes towards me. And holding here, 5 Ujjayi breaths. Of course, you're welcome to come in and practice your peace fingers with the knee, on the inside of the leg, with the knee bent, or starting to work on length. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable holding that one tonight, especially I'm quite tight. So I'll stay here. 5 breaths. So if you have the strap, we use the strap to open up. If you're caught underneath your thigh, use that. If you've got your toe with your fingers, use that to open out to the side. Oh, you can do it. Find the balance. Maybe we look over the other shoulder. 5 Ujjayi breaths. Stand tall. Back to center. And now if you've got the strap, it's a great time to do this one. Oh, oh. Lift up, draw the knee towards the nose and release the strap. Hold. 5 Ujjayi breaths. Oh, down we go. Pedal. Ouch. Okay, one more pose to finish off. You have an option to just take tree pose or to practice doing this Ashtanga expression of tree pose, which is it's quite complex. So just see how you go. Right leg moving first. So your option 1 is to just practice the turn out to the side on the tippy toe. Option 2 is to press the sole of the right foot against the calf of the left. Really push them in towards the centre line to achieve your balance. Option 3, you might be able to take your foot up to your inner thigh and work on it here. Now, if you have the flexibility and the range to take the leg across so that your heel is coming in towards your hip crease on the left side and your foot is facing up towards the ceiling, then you can come into the next step here. Now it's possible to use a strap. So taking your strap into your right hand, you're going to hook it around the foot, the left foot, and use that to try and deepen how high that foot's going. The full expression is to connect peace fingers on that right hand to the toe of the left leg. And now once you've got that connection, that bind, from here we fold. So take your time, lower down. It's not easy. Feel the hips start to drift up to the ceiling, chin coming in towards the chest. And whatever you are doing, tree pose or some version of this, some variation, take your 5 breaths. And coming out slowly with grace, with a ton of wobbles, and release. Then we'll go to the other side. So option 1, just turn on the ball of the foot, knee drives away. Maybe you're pressing against the calf, pushing inwards. Maybe you're coming up here and pushing inner thigh against the bottom of your foot. You choose, play with the hands, find your tree. Or if you'd like to practice having your strap handy, bringing the heel of the left foot towards the hip crease of the right leg. And I really don't want you to practice this if there's any strain in your knee joint. Take it back a notch, be kind to yourself. So maybe we're using a strap now to bring the left arm behind the body and to draw that foot closer in. Trust me, it takes a while to get this. Don't feel bad if you don't have it immediately. Okay, grabbing that foot in any way you like and then starting a little journey down to the ground. So hips lifting to the ceiling as you draw your belly down towards the top of your right thigh, and it's a beautiful stretch through the outer edge of the left hip. And we breathe wherever you are, tree pose balance or some variation of what I'm doing right now, for 5. And up we come. If you went down, slowly, with grace, and release. Take a wee pedal out. Now you might want to continue some extra yoga practice now, or to perform a shavasana and have a hard-earned rest. Whatever it is that you do to close your practice, I wish you well. Namaste. More Ashtanga videos to come. Bye.